This entitled mum tags along on a family holiday.
That's a genuinely shocking fact.
And makes it a living nightmare. But the real reason the dad brings her along will leave you shocked. Happy birthday if today's your birthday, and on with the show. I moved out of my parents' house 2 years ago and went off to college in a whole different country. I've been struggling with my parents' entitlement for a while, and around October 2019, I started standing up to them and getting into arguments with them on the phone. The arguments escalated to the point where they hung up on me after several insults and stopped calling me for several days. They used to call me 6 times a day. I saw it as a welcome break and thought nothing of it. After all, I was 4,000 miles away. Right? Wrong. At 9:30 p.m. a Thursday evening, I hear a knock on my studio door. I peek, and lo and behold, my mother, who hasn't spoken to me in a week, is standing in front of my door with 2 suitcases. Now I have PTSD, and this gave me a panic attack. I did not open the door that night because who the frick shows up unannounced and at night to boot? She camped in front of the door till past midnight. I put my phone in airplane mode and texted my friends for emotional support. The following morning, I found a suitcase and a note in front of my door signed by my mother. I came all the way here to visit you and stayed till 12:30, but you weren't there. I knew I had to face her eventually, but I was trying to delay that bit. My university contacted me about a family emergency concerning your house keys. I went to the front desk and saw my mother with her suitcase. She came over to hug me and immediately said, "Give me your keys, I have nowhere to stay." What are you doing here? Where did you stay last night? I found a suitcase in front of my door this morning. Do you realize how dangerous this is? It could have been flagged by security. I went to a hotel. You're exaggerating. It's just a suitcase. Now give me your keys. I came here to stay with you. Well, I have classes. I would have liked to at least know you were coming. I haven't planned anything, and I can't stay with you. We will talk about this later. You need to go back to class. Now give me your keys. I would like to point out that I am 22 and that my boyfriend lives with me. I had to ask him to spend the night elsewhere. I gave my mother the keys to my tiny studio and went to class to have the most horrible day of my academic career. FYI, she ended up stealing stuff. When I went back home in the evening, my mum greeted with this. This is such a spacious place. I can set in a couple of extra beds and come visit you whenever I want and bring your 2 siblings along. Mum, this whole place, bathroom and kitchen included, is 19 meters squared. You can't add 2 beds. I barely have enough room by myself. It's plenty of space. I'll take the bed. I'll have a sleeping bag for you. I could stay a whole month. And wouldn't that be great? I can visit anytime. Mum, you can visit anytime, but you need to tell me when you visit. I have my own schedule. Nonsense, this is my apartment. I pay my own bills with my own money. This is my studio. I am your mother. I can show up anytime I want. What will you do? Kick out your own mother? No, but this place is mine. I'd like you to respect that. You are my daughter. You don't own anything. Anything you have is mine. This is my apartment. She was getting more and more agitated, and I decided to calm her down. She had rearranged all of my kitchenwares and utensils and kept saying that she was arranging it as she saw fit because it belonged to her. It escalated a lot more the following night, as she ended up saying I was a part of her and had no right to privacy. But that's a story for another time. Okay, those parents definitely have some control issues there. This mother took her daughter's natural sense of loyalty to family and twisted it as a power play, rocking up in the middle of the night at the front door without telling them they were even going to be staying with them. If her intentions were good, then why didn't she let her know beforehand? I think she had just enough self-awareness to realize that what she was doing was wrong. My family, dad, mum, me, elder brother, and maid, read second mum, loved going on these picnics as a family. whenever we had a long weekend or vacations. Me, around 10 male at the time, and brother 13 were in school, and whenever we had the chance, we used to pack up Dad's SUV, 7-seater, and head out on the road. Now, living in the Middle East, most picnic spots were at least 100 kilometers away, so it used to become a road trip as well, and we had a lot of fun. Since there were 5 of us, my dad suggested we bring along this family friend, i.e. EM and her daughter, 8 at the time. A little background. EM was a rude bee. Daughter never really spoke much and was very quiet around people. Her dad didn't take them on trips like my family. And since we always had 2 extra seats in the SUV, we thought we'd invite them out this time. On all of these picnics, my mum and maid would wake up early and cook up some tasty lunch so we could eat at the picnic spot. Plus we'd pick up juices and snacks and things like that. So we did the same this time. We had lunch, sandwiches, juices, chips and all of that. We had prepared the SUV for the trip, and we were on our way to pick up EM and her daughter. From the time they set foot in the car, EM had her own set of demands. Like, her daughter should sit in the middle row seats, not the back ones. AC on full blast because of the heat outside, 45 degrees plus Celsius. Which, by the way, was not affecting the interior, which was set to a crisp 22 degrees. Wanted food all along the way and whatnot. EM herself was a housewife, but she didn't bother to bring up anything for this trip except a 500ml bottle of water and her daughter's makeup kit. This already had my mum ticked, but she let it go. We got to the spot, which was a hill station kind of place, so the rules to go up the treacherous roads were that no more than 5 people were allowed in an SUV, and only SUVs were allowed up the mountain. We had another set of friends trailing us in another car, but they weren't allowed up, so we unloaded my brother and maid, and they would wait for us in the car at the base of the mountain, as my parents, me, EM, and her daughter would go up and spend an hour touring around, since the latter 2 hadn't ever been there, but we had. Once we got there, EM had a fit, because we didn't bring along her daughter's favorite juice. Then she wanted to wait for about half an hour extra than planned, so her daughter could enjoy the view. We ended up spending 2 hours extra. All the while we had 2 people from the other car and 2 people from ours waiting for us to return. We did finally return to the base and had lunch there, where EM and daughter feasted on what we had made and brought along. We used to take our own utensils, and after eating, would wash them and bring them back. EM didn't help in washing at all. She and her daughter enjoyed the cool air of the AC in the vehicle, while we were cleaning up in the 46-degree heat. We then left from there and headed back to the city. On the way back, Mum asked me and my brother if we'd like to go out for dinner, and we were stoked. We rarely ever got to eat KFC. It was just considered unhealthy, and so we ever so rarely ate there. So me and elder bro decided we'd go there and told Mum. EM, on the other hand, makes a fuss, saying her daughter wanted McDonald's and tells my dad that. My dad, without asking us, takes us to McDonald's, which both me and my brother hated with a passion, and he knew of it. When we said we didn't want to eat there, he said, "Fine, you can stay hungry." My mum lost it, but she wasn't the one to make a scene. She calmed us down and said we'd get some KFC on the way home. EM didn't pay a single dime for the whole trip, for her food, her daughter's McDonald's, or anything, yet expected us to cater to her daughter's whims. When we got home, Mum absolutely went berserk on Dad for ignoring his own son's wishes and letting EM have her way. My dad said that EM's husband never took them out, so he wanted to let their daughter have whatever she wanted. There was a huge fight, and it all but ended with us being ticked at Dad. Years later, we found that Dad had been cheating on Mum with EM. Honestly, it did sound pretty weird bringing someone else's wife along on your family trip. So it's kinda sad it has that ending, but I guess it's not that unexpected. Also, even though she was a bit bossy, I do feel a bit bad for EM's daughter. If she doesn't really get to go on trips and things like that, this probably was a really exciting time for her. Just unfortunate she got caught up in the middle of everything. A dad's loyalties should be to his family's needs first. And if he's gonna choose otherwise, he should clearly set expectations and try to make sure that everybody is on board. Okay, so this happened a while ago, before quarantine. I decided, for the first time ever, my tiny 5'1" childlike looking self was gonna go out of town and go shopping, without my parents or friends. Now, due to my social anxiety and BPD, borderline personality disorder, this was a big step for me. I don't deal well with crowded places, or people in general. If it wasn't for the EM, I would have had a good day. But the event you're about to read stopped me from wanting to leave my house again for a while without someone by my side. Now, I am a little chubby, not enough to be classified as fat, but not skinny enough to be thin or fit, most of my weight being in my thighs. So for this, we have the lovely cast of me, EM, EK, my guy, MG, and 5 cool guys. So it's about lunchtime, and I've bought an oversized jumper because I'm single and big jumpers make me happy. So I put it on and it obviously looks too big for me and makes me look a bit chubbier and younger. When I went into the cafe, it was packed. There were a lot of people, so I tried to just squeeze around people and stay out of the way. I finally decided on a hot chocolate thingy with all the trimmings, like squirty cream and marshmallows, and a bacon, sausage and cheese pasta thing. Best food I ever ate. Near the front of the cafe is a bench, so I just sit out of the way of a lovely couple next to me. As I tucked into my meal and doodled on my sketchbook, I noticed a mother and her son walk in, looking a bit flushed from the cold. Immediately, I was getting Karen vibes from the scowl on her face due to how many people were in the cafe. She goes up to the counter with her kid as I continue doing what I'm doing, just listening to people talk and staying in my own dreamland. I'm halfway through my meal and almost finished doodling the plotted plants sat outside when I feel a rough tap on my shoulder and I freeze. I mentally prepare myself and turn around to see the EM. Oh, sorry, can I help you?
Would you mind moving? Me and my little sunshine need a seat.
Sorry, but no, I got here first, and also, would you both need 2 seats?
Just move out of the way, kid. You could use the exercise anyway.
Can I just add a note real quick that this woman clearly weighed more than me? First of all, I don't appreciate being spoken down to. And second of all, I told you no. What don't you understand? At this point, the nice old couple next to me is glaring daggers at the woman. Now due to my BPD, I feel emotions a lot more than other people, and my anger often gets out of hand. It means I can feel some emotions lasting a very long time, which includes anger episodes and depressing episodes, which is why it seems my emotions are changing a lot through the situation. It's not something I can control.
Just move, alright? You should respect your elders, kid.
She now started tapping her foot in annoyance. Sorry, but no. I've been walking all day and I won't be long if you insist on the seat.
Why do you need it anyway? It's not like you're eating, you're just doodling in that silly book of yours.
Now her kid spoke up.
Mom, I want a book. I like the design on it. Okay then, EK. Give me your book now.
I'm panicking a bit now, because this book is filled with a lot of drawings. Whenever I have an episode, I use it to convey how I feel, to better understand myself. It is very personal, and I don't like people looking at it. Sorry, but no, this is very private to me. I put my thought and feelings into my drawings. I don't think it's appropriate. EM takes to trying to get the book off the table, so I shove her off and snap. Get your effing nasty hands off my stuff, you bee. I told you no. Understand the word no. N-O, no. Get lost and go tick someone else off. Once I'm done yelling, I realized I've got the attention of the entire cafe, and I try to backtrack as quickly as possible because I'm feeling uncomfortable. Just please don't touch my stuff. The old couple next to me has left just before I shouted, meaning there are now 2 spare seats available, but she is still hassling me.
No, you yelled at me. I deserve that book as compensation.
Please don't, just leave me be. Thankfully, an employee comes out, and I'm gonna call her my guy. MG, because this guy was amazing. Sorry, but what's this commotion about? Before I even get to speak, this witch cuts me off.
This little girl stole that book of my baby and refuses to give it back. And she attacked me and called me a bee.
So I start to panic and cry because I think I'm gonna get in trouble. So I start stumbling over my words, and for the life of me, I can't say what I wanted to say. Then, out of nowhere, about 5 guys sat at the back of the cafe who looked roughly my age stood up for me. The next few minutes were a bit of a blur because I was focusing on not having a panic attack in the store. 3 explained everything that happened in detail to the employee, and the other 2 came over to me and tried to calm me down. I do remember grabbing one of them and just burying myself in his jacket. Definitely something I regretted later because I soaked his shirt in my tears and I felt awful. In the end, the screaming mother was told to get out of the store and was promptly kicked out. After I finished panicking, I was given a free cookie, which made it better. I also was taken back to the guys' table. They were all really cool, let me just cry, and then cheered me up and made me laugh. They actually all lived just the town across from me, so we arranged another meetup. One bit I vividly remember was I repeatedly apologized for ruining the guy's shirt because it was soaked. He was really chill though, and that was it. I never want to meet a Karen again. If I didn't have those 5 guys with me and the employee, I don't know what I would have done. I didn't know then, but in the months after me and the soaked guy's shirt got close, I don't think I could have asked for a better boyfriend. So screw you, Karen, but also thank you. Without you, I wouldn't have met Tom. It just goes to show you that even good things can come from a bad thing. But what's the bet that a narcissistic Karen would take credit for that too? Submit your story to be read on the channel at VoiceyHereStories@gmail.com and join our Voicey veteran community at r/VoiceyHere. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode. Alright, Voicey veterans, I'll see you in the next one.